bathe in your state of being to nurture your becoming. Return to the creative wellspring of your possibility in states of being. Understand and recognize holistically yourself in being and becoming. Understand that as you recline and surrender to yourself, you are also becoming. To understand as you step back, you are creating steps forward. To understand the oscillation of creation, that we must go back within ourselves to our creative originality and source to thus blossom into our becoming. This is the task we are faced with ourselves in each day. To not be attached to one and resistant to another. To not see progress or becoming as us, as our good self, and to see resting, reclining, and bathing in ourselves and moments of being as something to resist or to perceive as negative. But to understand the totality of ourselves and being and becoming, in resting and acting, in listening and then expressing. We are always invited back into ourselves where we possess our creative body, our infinitely creative body. And from this, within this bathing, this resting, this listening and being, we are always born out of this in expression and becoming and creating. And it is in this relationship where these two are one that we are truly able to be full and complete and whole in our body, both within and without, both in rest and in action, not seeing one as preferred and one as to be resisted. It is these labels that and these judgments that progress is labeled and judged to be good, and to rest and to take stock and to take time is to be judged bad. It is these judgments, these separations of these two aspects of ourselves that cause fragmentation in our creative body. These masculine and feminine expressions of ourselves, which when combined and are in marriage can blossom in the oscillation between rest and action, between being and becoming. There is a natural harmony in us between these masculine and feminine, between these being and becoming, between these rest and acting, these listening and expressing. This is the task that we are faced with, to loosen our grip on the judgments we have and the biases we have between action and resting, listening and expressing. To understand that before every action there is listening, and before every expression there is embodying. And if we are only acting in the ambition to progress, then we do not hold the ocean that we are, the creative ocean and wellspring that we are. And in this, if we are not connected to this ocean, we're not connected to ourselves, and so we thus become acting in the image of what we see in imitation. Because we are not connected to ourselves, we are merely connected to the cultural expression of progress, progress, progress. But if we take time to return to our states of being, to bathe in ourselves and in our waters of creative inspiration and abundance and inspiration, then we will find that we effortlessly bloom from this body we possess within that is ultimately creative. And in this being an ocean, we can express and act and become. And in this holistic relationship, we understand the non-linear essence of ourselves, where even when we become and we achieve, we are always coming back into our body, being an ocean. Understanding that with each wave that we become, we always return back into ocean to then come back into expressed wave. In this way, we understand ourselves holistically, not as either becoming or being, but as a totality that is ultimately creative, whether it is listening or resting or acting or expressing. It is in this totality that we discover ourselves, our creativity, our possibility, and our authenticity, which is found not in merely action and success and gain and progress, but in the embodiment of all that we are, that cannot be completely understood in merely expressing. For the flower grows in the soil it is held in. If a flower wants to fly towards the sun, it will lose its roots in the soil. And thus, if we only progress and act and create with ambition, then we lose the soil as we search for the sun. In this way, we are prioritizing a more masculine approach, disregarding the feminine, which holds our creative potential within our soil. And if we can embody ourselves in this soil and sun, in this being and becoming, in this listening and then expressing, then we are true to ourselves in every moment, whether it is being or becoming, in which way oscillates and moves and thus dances, knowing that we are not one or the other, or judging or labeling one as good or one as bad, or we understand ourselves as in motion, in dance, and thus creative. And this is the creativity that is called and asked to become and asked to be re-embodied in us. When we let go of the fear of stepping back, listening, resting, and embodying, we can then become more than what our ambitions are so eager to achieve. If we can slip back into our ocean of being, we would understand the fruitfulness of our becoming. And so this, I leave you with, to reconnect and build a relationship between your being and your becoming. To remember the body, the oceanic body of creativity that you possess, that can never entirely be known only in action, but also embodiment. Until next time, goodbye.